Welcome back, agents. This time it's a continued series on Hunter's Fury. This is called the Hunter's Pestilence, and it's going to use an LMG. Now, not too many Hunter Fury builds with LMG, but it's just as good as some of the others. The SMG works great, but Intimidate still works here with LMG, and of course, if you roll it with some of the best there, it works out. So we're going to break this one down even a little better. We're going to go down through step by step because some of you have been jumping in on this build or that build and not the whole series. So you're like, hey, can you break this down a little bit better? So for those who don't understand the build, and want it more in depth, this next few minutes is for you. For those who just want to see the build and what it does, the few changes and have an understanding, I'm going to give you a timestamp to jump right to that. And then if you want to watch the gameplay, you can go ahead and watch that. So let me break it down step by step. First things first, let's check out the Pestilence, the weapon that we're utilizing in this build. And it's all about this Plague of Outcast. Hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times, and whenever an enemy dies with its debuff, all the stacks transfer to the nearby enemy within 25 meters. So what's that all about? So once you kill an enemy, look at the one closest to that enemy and then start picking on him. He's going to already be debuffed, and this makes a chain kill after kill, making each one easier and easier. That's the Pestilence. Let's talk about the backup weapon that I use on a lot of these builds, and it is this shotgun right here. I like this for close quarters because one bullet, 1.3 million base damage. It's also damage to armor and damage out of cover. So it's really great at ripping up dogs, ripping up anything that's getting real close to you and going to do you damage where you can't go into cover. So that's why I like this as my backup weapon, but you can choose a backup weapon that you love as well. As for the handgun, again, this comes down to your preference, but this Karn is really an awesome item to always have as your weapon of choice. Now, if you're not using exotic in the first two slots, Liberty is really a powerful pistol. But in this build right here, we're very seldom have to pull out our pistol. But if we do, it'll give us that extra skill boost to be able to hit our hive a little harder, or drone, or whatever skill we're using at the time. So that's why I use this as my pistol, but you can use any pistol that you enjoy in this slot, and a lot of times you'll never use it. Let's break down the Hunter's Fury. We're using 4-piece Hunter's Fury, mask, holster, gloves, knees. Now we're trying to get as much crit chance, crit damage as possible with this. So depending on how you want to distribute crit chance, crit damage, we want to try to get that crit chance close to 60%. We want to try to get as much crit damage on there as possible. So we're going to be using as much as that on these pieces as we can. Now, even though we have not broke this down in the other builds this week, this is our feature. So why should we use 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury? Well, 2 pieces is going to give us 15% extra SMG damage and 15% shotgun damage. Well, that doesn't really help out this build because we're going with LMG. So why do we use that? Well, the second reason is when we go the 3-piece, this is where it really shines. 100% of our health is regained on kill. But you're saying, they're not getting through my armor, so I don't need that. That is true. But you get 20% armor on kill from these 3 pieces. So we go to the 4th piece. This is where it really shines. The enemy within 15 minutes will receive a debuff, amplifying your damage against them by 20%. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorientates the other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies your weapon by 5% for 10 seconds. This can stack 5 different times. So if you're string killing people in a close proximity to each other, each one gets quicker, and that's why we're using Hunter's Fury. Now there's a few ways you can go on here. Now you can use the Hunter's Fury backpack, and you can use something like the Contractor's Gloves to give you that out of cover damage and the bonuses that it gives, and it still gives you your bonus. Now we want to run this brand set here, and we're running the Intimidate. So as we get the bonus armor from the Memento, we're also getting the extra 35% weapon damage from the gun. So we're using the Memento, we're using the Hunter's Fury to debuff everybody, to buff everybody up and give us the bonus armor from the Memento. We're getting our armor back from doing the kills after they're debuffed, and that's how this works with any weapon. Now, as we explored for the Hunter's Fury, a Hunter's Fury traditionally would do better with the SMGs. That's why Lady Death is really the king of the Hunter's Fury builds, or maybe something like the Scorpio, which is still an awesome build with Hunter's Fury. But the Pestilence can really shine here as well, and that's what we're trying to prove. So we're using the brand set to give us the LMG damage and to give us the talent of Intimidate. And with this build, we're running the Memento. It's just too good not to use here. Again, you can use the Adrenaline Rush, and there's a good case for it. It's an awesome combination with the Intimidate and the Hunter's Fury. It's a great combination, but if you're really mowing down people, and the Pestilence will, because you got the debuffs from the Hunter's Fury, you got the debuffs from the Pestilence, you got the buffs that this thing gives you in the weapon damage and the bonus armor and the skill. It is just a lethal combination that you just hard to ignore. Plus, it gives you weapon damage, it gives you armor, and it gives you a skill tier. So it's all 3 in 1. It really is hard to play anything in this slot other than Memento backpack. The problem is, if you use an exotic somewhere else like Coyote's Mask, then that option isn't available for you because of the one exotic armor at a time being used, or BDSU gloves if you're playing the item to reset everybody, or the tardigrade backpack to reset everybody as a team buff. Those all have a factor on what you're going to use, but when you're not using any of those, Memento backpack is really the best in slot. Now let's break down the last 3 items. Now you can run Gunner here. Running Gunner is going to give you more armor on kill. That's really great. The Flamethrower here is going to give you the team bonus of anything within 10 meters of you. Your allies are going to be able to do a lot more damage to. So it depends what you want to run and how you want to run it. If you already got somebody that's doing all those in your team, you might even want to go with Demolitionist or something like that. This one gives you better healing for yourself. It gives you a chance to do more damage for the up and close that you're doing. You're running a gun with LMG, and you're going to stick it in their face and shoot them point blank range, just like you did with the SMG. So this is one of the choices. Again, you can go with Gunner here, and it is a solid complaint, if maybe not even better. Now, let's go with the skills that you're using. Right now, I'm using a Bleed Hive, and I'm using a drone. The drone is a fixer drone. It just gives me that little extra added protection. You can use a deflector drone, you can use assault drone, you can use seeker mines. Again, whatever you want to use in here, it's really not crucial to what you're doing. It's great to run seeker mines and do a little pre-damage before you start doing it, or drop it a little later when you kind of debuff some of the people around you. But I don't like doing that as much, because when you're using those seeker mines, too often you're in close quarters, because the way this build's set up, you're running a gun and you're in their face, and if you drop the seeker mines at the wrong time and you have somebody push you, or you're pushing them, as that seeker mine blows up, you can actually do damage, if not kill yourself, with the explosive damage from your own seeker mines. So that's why I like the drone. I like the Stinger Hive. It's not going to affect you to that point. Assault turret is also good for protection as well. So that's the breakdown. That is Hunter's Pestilence. Again, it's just another variation of what you can do with Hunter's Fury. And my whole thing of this week of going over all these Hunter's Furies is, there seems to be no bad way to run Hunter's Fury other than not running it at all. It's really, really powerful. It makes the playing a lot of fun, but you have to watch what you do. It may not meet your playstyle. You may be that kind of guy that likes letting your skills do the damage, or somebody like I used to be the first year and sit in the back and just headshot, one kill kind of person. And those are all great. But as there's something about running around and pointing that gun point blank range and making every bullet count, put it on a target, going to the next target, and just one after the other mowing them down. And that's what the Hunter's Fury can do, and it's really neat. And the Pestilence itself is just a broken ability, and it's really cool. Using them all together with the Momentum Backpack, the Intimidate, the Hunter's Fury 4 times, and the Pestilence is just a great combination that makes this a build worth checking out. There's many other builds, and like I say, the Hunter's Fury build is really designed to run with the SMG or the shotgun in mind, the close range. But don't pass on running something like the Pestilence with it. I hope you enjoyed the build. This is Bear Essentials. I am Bear Byers. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you really enjoy these builds that we're throwing out there. We're going to take a deep dive in the overall history in the 7-8 months that Hunter's Fury has been in the game, and what we've done with it, what other people have done with it. And I'll kind of throw out some other builds by some other people, like Plum Conch 386 did a great Liberty build. He's the only one that did that. There's another content creator that did one with Scorpio, and those are the only two on YouTube that I could find that feature a handgun with Hunter's Fury. And you know what? They all work. Again, Hunter's Fury is just something it's hard to pass by. So I will see you in the grind. If you're on Xbox, look up Bear Buyer 65. I'll be there to help you out. Peace out.